Denise has been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, a particularly aggressive form of blood cancer that requires urgent treatment. Reeling in the aftermath of this news, Denise decided to distract herself by supporting Chelsea Fox, Zara Abrahams, following son Jordan's car accident. But after Jack Branning, Scott Massillon had Phil Mitchell, Steve McFadden, urge her to begin treatment at once, Denise broke down in the Vic and confided in her loved ones, revealing her diagnosis. Denise told the kids that she would be in hospital for a month once treatment got underway, revealing that she's made a rota for them to all help out around in the house in her absence, urging them to step up. As her treatment continues, upcoming episodes will see Denise struggle in the middle of her isolation. This is a character who is always around her loved ones. Being alone and in a hospital, unaware of everything that's going on back at home, is hitting her hard. A couple of days later, Denise is supported by a nurse as she emotionally removes her head wrap for the first time. Denise's treatment causes hair loss, so the removal of the head wrap and first look at how her appearance has changed is going to be a powerful, and yet devastating moment. Fans have speculated that the heartbreaking storyline, which was penned to mark Denise's 20th anniversary on EastEnders, could have a tragic end. The character was mentioned in the flash-forward episode earlier this year, which is set in 2027 but not seen. Actress Diane Parrish, who has played Denise for a whopping 20 years, recently reflected on her soap alter ego's diagnosis and what impact it will have on Denise's family moving forward. There are many characters in this show, and as actors we just tell their stories. I see it like we're chess pieces on a board and we go with whatever the creators decide is best for the show, because they're looking at the bigger picture. It's the fickle finger of fate, but that's just like life, isn't it? Continuing her chat with TV Times, Diane said that she feels like she's had 100 different careers already from being in this show, adding that she feels so grateful and proud to be a part of it. The star explained that one of the reasons why Denise delayed her treatment was because she feared that things would fall apart without her. But now she's going to have to surrender herself to the people who are hopefully going to be able to save her life, she added. There are ripples throughout the whole family. You see that this isn't just happening to Denise, it's happening to everyone else who loves her too. They've all been thrown into this huge storm. I want everybody to look out for what's coming, because it's unexpected. Life has never been easy for Denise Fox, but the latest emotional chapter in EastEnders could see the Walford favorite facing one of her toughest personal battles yet. While she has always been known as one of Albert Square's strongest and most resilient residents, upcoming scenes suggest that Denise's strength is beginning to crack under the weight of isolation, grief, and overwhelming emotional pressure. In heartbreaking scenes, Denise is left alone with her thoughts after pushing away the people who care about her the most. As she struggles to maintain the brave face she has worn for so long, one deeply symbolic moment changes everything. Standing alone in front of a mirror, Denise slowly removes her head wrap, revealing not only her physical vulnerability, but also the emotional walls she has desperately tried to keep in place. The touching moment is expected to become one of the week's most memorable scenes, highlighting just how fragile Denise has become behind closed doors. Denise's loneliness begins to take hold. Although Denise has always been surrounded by family and friends, recent events have left her feeling increasingly disconnected from everyone around her. Conversations have become strained, misunderstandings continue to pile up, and every attempt to explain how she's feeling seems to end in frustration. Rather than opening up, Denise chooses silence. She convinces herself that nobody could truly understand what she's going through, leading her to spend more time alone inside her home. The once lively household becomes unusually quiet, with Denise avoiding visitors and making excuses whenever someone checks in on her. Her isolation slowly becomes impossible to ignore. Even those closest to her notice that something has changed. Denise no longer laughs the way she used to, rarely leaves the house unless absolutely necessary, and seems exhausted by even the smallest interactions. A powerful symbol of vulnerability. The emotional turning point arrives when Denise finally finds herself completely alone. After another difficult day filled with emotional setbacks, she quietly enters her bedroom and stares into the mirror. For several moments, she simply looks at her reflection, seemingly searching for the confident woman she once recognized. Then comes the moment that speaks louder than words. Slowly and carefully, Denise removes her head wrap. The act itself is gentle and understated, but emotionally it carries enormous weight. Throughout her recent struggles, the head wrap has become more than just part of her appearance. It has represented protection, dignity, and the public image she has worked so hard to maintain. Removing it becomes a visual acknowledgement that she can no longer pretend everything is fine. Without saying a single word, Denise allows herself to confront the reality she has spent weeks avoiding. The silence says everything. Hidden pain finally surfaces. For months, Denise has buried her emotions beneath everyday responsibilities. Looking after loved ones, offering advice to friends, and trying to keep life moving forward has left little room for her own well-being. Eventually, however, even the strongest people reach breaking point. As the emotional pressure builds, Denise begins questioning whether anyone truly sees what she's going through. She worries that admitting weakness would disappoint those who rely on her, leaving her trapped in a cycle of suffering alone. Her loneliness becomes self-perpetuating. The more isolated she feels, the harder it becomes to reconnect with others. Every awkward conversation, and every missed opportunity to ask for help only deepens the emotional divide. Family starts to notice. It doesn't take long before Denise's unusual behavior attracts attention. Those closest to her begin noticing the subtle warning signs. She forgets appointments, loses interest in family gatherings, and struggles to focus during conversations. Initially, everyone assumes she's simply tired. But as the days pass, concern grows. Loved ones quietly discuss whether Denise is hiding something far more serious. They wonder if recent events have finally caught up with her emotionally, leaving her unable to cope despite her determined exterior. Unfortunately, Denise continues insisting that she's perfectly fine. The harder people push, the more defensive she becomes. Friends refuse to give up. Despite Denise's attempts to keep everyone at a distance, several familiar faces refuse to abandon her. Friends continue dropping by unexpectedly, bringing food, checking in with phone calls, and reminding Denise that she isn't alone. At first, she resists every effort. She thanks them politely before quickly ending conversations, convinced that dealing with everything herself is the only option. But beneath her stubbornness lies fear. Denise worries that if she starts talking, she may not be able to stop. She's terrified that admitting the truth would force her to confront emotions she has spent months trying to suppress. An emotional conversation changes everything. Eventually, someone manages to break through Denise's carefully constructed emotional barriers. During a quiet heart-to-heart, she's gently encouraged to stop pretending everything is under control. For the first time in weeks, Denise admits that she's exhausted. Not physically, emotionally. She explains how lonely she's become despite constantly being surrounded by people. She describes the pressure of always appearing strong and the impossible expectation that she should somehow have all the answers. The confession is heartbreaking. It becomes clear that Denise has been carrying an enormous emotional burden almost entirely by herself. The meaning behind the mirror scene. The sequence involving Denise removing her head wrap is likely to resonate deeply with viewers because it captures something universally relatable. Many people wear invisible emotional armor every day. Some hide behind smiles. Others bury themselves in work. Some simply convince everyone around them that everything is fine. Denise's head wrap becomes a powerful visual metaphor for those protective layers. When she removes it, she's no longer hiding. She isn't performing strength for anyone else's benefit. She's simply allowing herself to exist exactly as she is, vulnerable, frightened, and emotionally drained. It's a rare moment of honesty that requires tremendous courage. Could this be a turning point? Although Denise's situation appears bleak, the emotional breakthrough may ultimately become the first step toward healing. By acknowledging that she isn't coping, she opens the possibility of accepting support. Instead of continuing to battle alone, Denise may finally realize that asking for help isn't a sign of failure. It's an act of strength. Those around her remain determined to stand beside her, even if she struggles to believe she deserves their support. The coming episodes are expected to explore whether Denise can rebuild those damaged connections before her isolation becomes even more overwhelming. Fans already expect powerful performances. Viewers have long praised Denise as one of EastEnders' most layered and believable characters. Over the years, she has experienced heartbreak, family conflict, betrayal, financial struggles, and deeply personal loss, yet she has always managed to find a way forward. That history makes this latest storyline even more emotional. Instead of dramatic confrontations or explosive twists, the focus shifts towards something quieter but equally devastating: the emotional exhaustion that develops when someone feels completely alone. Many fans are already predicting that the performances involved could become some of the strongest seen on the square this year. The intimate nature of the scenes allows the emotion to speak for itself without relying on sensational drama. A story that reflects real life. One reason Denise's storyline is likely to resonate so strongly is its realism. Countless people struggle silently, while convincing everyone around them that they're coping perfectly well. Isolation doesn't always mean physically being alone. Sometimes it means feeling emotionally disconnected, even when surrounded by family and friends. Denise's experience reflects that painful reality. Her journey reminds viewers how easily someone can hide their struggles behind everyday routines and reassuring smiles. It also highlights the importance of checking in with loved ones, even when they insist everything is okay. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones most in need of support. What's next for Denise? As Denise begins confronting the emotional truth she's worked so hard to avoid, the future remains uncertain. Will she finally accept the help being offered? Can she rebuild trust with the people she's pushed away? Or will her growing isolation continue pulling her deeper into despair? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. The quiet moment in which Denise removes her head wrap promises to become one of the most emotionally powerful scenes in recent EastEnders history, not because of shocking twists or dramatic revelations, but because it captures a deeply human experience with honesty, sensitivity, and compassion. For Denise, removing the head wrap isn't simply about changing her appearance. It's about removing the emotional mask she's worn for far too long, and perhaps for the very first time allowing others to see the woman behind the strength. As Walford watches events unfold, viewers will undoubtedly be hoping that Denise's journey leads not to further heartbreak, but to healing, reconnection, and the reminder that even the strongest people deserve someone to lean on when life becomes too heavy to carry alone. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to EastEnders Spoilers Official.